Within the NHRA is a class of car that defies convention. Door slammers with nitrous, turbos, blowers. These are the Mavericks. This is the ever-popular Pro Modified.
You know, the coolest part about this class is that you have the nitrous cars, the blower cars, the turbo cars. They're all doing different things on different parts of the racetrack. And I think it's what the fans love.
After a truly remarkable season, the various Pro Mod crews have regrouped at the Monte Carlo Resort and Casino to honor their own at an awards banquet. And Inside Drag Racing was there. For the next 2 weeks, our coverage will showcase the races and racers who made 2015 such a spectacular year with NHRA Pro Modified. Starting with these highlights.
Here we go.
Troy Coughlin on to victory.
What a drag race here!
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the 2015 Awards Banquet here for the J&A Service Company NHRA Pro Mod Series. It is a great evening. It's going to be a great celebration of a lot of really fantastic performances that happened along and through this long season. 10 different races, 10 different winners, 8 different runner-ups, completely unpredictable, and it really was something else. So it's the time of the night to start acknowledging the top 10, working our way from 10 to number 1. We're going to begin with our number 10 finisher in 2015. Please stand to be recognized. Peter Farber, driver, CRC Brake Clean, 1969 Charger Daytona.
The Baldwinville, Massachusetts native is already a standout with his 1969 Dodge Daytona, let alone his unique good luck charm.
I'm ready because I got my frog back. I found him in the pickup truck. He's back on the front of the car, so we're good.
Farber reached across the Canadian border to tap renowned Al Billis as his crew chief. Ironically, he would frequently face Canadian Eric Latino, who also used an Al Billis car.
Farber rolls into stage and they're ready. And a red light start for the green Camaro. And man, it didn't matter. Farber puts down a 5:88 quickest run of the round. What a drag race to start things off. Farber drives around a hole shot to win it in an incredibly close battle.
We qualified for 9 out of 10 races. I mean, the points is so close from 1 to 10. 2 years ago, you would just show up at a race and guarantee be top 10. Now you have to go some rounds, and I almost won Gainesville to get where we're at today. Highlight of the year was probably going to the finals in Gainesville. We qualified pretty well there, I believe, 3 or 4. And then we were going to the semis, the fuel pump broke. Had to put a spare fuel pump in that we had next day aired. And to actually go rounds after that is pretty cool.
Problems for Farber right off the bat. You heard the engine go to the moon. And Bob Ram's family, his daughters, his friends on the starting line are going to be going crazy.
They ended up with a suspension problem that we couldn't find, and it reared its ugly head in Indianapolis. That hurt us in the points pretty badly. Blower nitrous cars, I think they're pretty even. You know, if you got your stuff together, in a nitrous car you can run, and if you got your stuff together in a blower car, you can run. You know, I do okay. For a small team of 3, we do all right. We're going to come back to NHRA. We're going to do some R&D over the winter, so we've got something, maybe a little better combination for them. CRC's back on board. I talked to them today. They're going to step up their program with us. Maybe we're going to start a second car ourselves.
Inside Drag Racing is brought to you by ARP, the world leader in faster technology. And by Precision Turbo and Engine, the winning edge in boosted performance. And by Aeromotive, serious fuel system for pro mods to hot rods and everything in between. Welcome back to IDR's coverage of the 2015 NHRA Pro Mod Banquet. Here's Brian Lowe.
The number 9 finisher in 2015, the Rookie of the Year award recipient, driver of his dad's old Corvette, TJ Coughlin. Congratulations, TJ. Please stand up and be recognized.
Son of fellow Pro Mod racer Troy Coughlin, Troy Jr. is part of a growing family of racers under the Jegs banner.
Wow.
What an honor to be chosen by such a great group of men and women and professionals of this sport to be a Rookie of the Year. So thank you all so much, and I got to give a huge thank you to the men at Table 6, Kyle, Brandon, Mike Rees, Justin Beaver, that whole group, Steve Petty. These guys have made this experience second to none the best. It's been an absolute blast.
Few people have achieved more with their dad's old used Corvette, so pretty good deal.
My throttle stop and bracket cars, they would stop pulling about half track. This thing starts to pull again in half track and really set you back in a seat. And you learn, that you can drive through tire shake and what kinds of tire shake you're going to have and what it feels like, and it also tells you what the car needs and wants that way. As far as my team here, Steve and the guys, they're a 10. They've done a great job of getting this thing the best shape they could get it and give me a car that works functional-wise. And just some of the parts failures have been a little bit on the luck side of things, but they were flawless, and I've got some work to do. I felt like I could have done a better job on the tree. We could have won a few rounds if I just would have been 100th or 2 better, which would have been probably high double O or teens. But that's what's got to be done. You have to find a way to win. It just depends on how bad you want it, and I really want it bad, and I feel like I left a little bit on the table there. We were qualified in usually about the top 6. Gainesville, we were 2nd, and we're pretty fast. Houston, we were, I believe, 13th or 14th, and made it to the semifinals. We were fast enough in eliminations. It seems like in this class that qualifying is almost irrelevant. If you were in the top 16, it's game on. It's just, I won more rounds from the bottom half of the field than I have in the top half of the field. We didn't qualify at Atlanta due to some parts failures that we just didn't catch in time, and I think that was a major setback. Norwalk, we had good success. We were on the slower side, but got to the semis against Pop, and he beat us there. But, all in all, it's been a pretty decent year. It's a lot of fun. You would think it would be difficult at times, wanting to beat your dad. Yeah, you want to beat your dad, and he wants to beat me, but if I'm going to lose, I'd rather him beat me. At least it's internal. Every once in a while, we'll bring up and take a jab at each other from our previous contests, but usually we keep it pretty clean and supportive. I want him to win, he wants me to win. Racing Dad for the first time at Houston. That was pretty cool. I mean, I never really ever thought I'd ever race against my dad. And to race against somebody like that is really cool because there's not many drivers like my dad is. He's driven all 3 power adders and has driven a lot of cars that probably weren't as drivable and can get them from A to B with no issues. It's very impressive to watch him. I watch him in that manner. And racing in this class in general has been an awesome experience. To race with these drivers is an honor because these guys can truly drive.
A guy who came in to this weekend's race, I believe at number 10, with a race win, climbed his way up a couple of spots. Khalid Al Balushi, the number 8 finisher here in 2015.
Helping give NHRA's Pro Modified international scope, Khalid Al Balushi hails from the city of Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, located on the eastern shore of the Arabian Peninsula. To help augment a new car, Khalid also hired one of the winningest drivers in drag racing history as his crew chief, Frank Manzo. And halfway through the season, the team began to yield results.
It's a great drag race. But Khalid Al Balushi, the 2011 Pro Modified World Champion and past top fuel dragster standout, wins the final race of 2015.
For fun, I've been having fun 10%. For 10, I have fun. But we've been struggling how we start and we've been coming around with our car, but I think for next year we got a harder out to start the season with it. I think this is something new for Frank to run the car with the rotor blower. He never been running, but finally when he come, I think when he figured a little bit how to run the car, I think he's been doing a very great job. Today we are in Vegas, 584, 244 something. I think we are in a good shape. The best things in the year and every race when we come, we've been having fun together. How if we win, if we qualify, if we're not, we've been having fun here. Frank, he's been trying to show you guys he's mad, but he's not. He's always he been having fun. To go over there in the starting line, you do your best and your car been approving something. When we were on 584 with a blower and we've been doing something.
Time now for the quarter mile quiz brought to you by ARP. This week's quarter mile quiz question: how many RPMs does a turbo make when running and how much boost? Sylvia from Niagara Falls wanted to know. We'll be back with the answer after this. Back on Inside Drag Racing, the ARP quarter mile quiz question this week: how many RPMs does a turbo make when running and how much boost? The answer? We turn to Harry Ruska, president of Precision Turbo and Engine.
Well, in Pro Mod NHRA, we're limited to 43 pounds of boost, so that limits speed a little bit. On these cars, we're typically turning the turbocharger around 140,000 RPM. Now, think about that. That's over 2,000 revolutions per second. That's fast.
The number 7 finisher. A wild and woolly season for this driver. Had some ups and downs, but ends up in the top 10. Danny Rowe.
As a member of the Real Pro Mod Association board and head of Danny Rowe Racing, as well as being half of the Agave Underground Tequila team, Danny plays a significant role in this race series.
New car and a nice shiny trophy in his hand. That's Danny Rowe down there from Charlotte, the Real Pro Mod Association presented race. And it was a great weekend. Whenever you can bring out a new piece of pipe like that, something that looks as good as that Corvette does, and drive it into the winner's circle, a huge victory. And again, a lot of smiling faces there, well earned and hard fought. Congratulations, Danny.
Well, if I had to rate my season this year, I'd say we're probably maybe a 5 or 6. It's been a challenging year with us. You know, we've had a few incidents with the wall a couple times between Atlanta and St. Louis. And, you know, I've been racing Pro Mod a long time, and knock on wood, you know, we haven't had too many incidents, and to have 2 in one season is obviously a huge issue for me. You know, but the cars are faster, and you know they're a little bit more to handle these days, and you know, you never know where you're going. It's a Pro Mod car, and that's why it's exciting. It's an expensive, bad habit to get into, so we're not going to do that anymore. It's been a challenging season. You know, we work really, really hard at it. We have a good program, but you need a little bit of luck and a lot of hard work to really make this happen. It was exciting to win Charlotte, and it was a lot of fun to do that, but you know, we want to win them all. We don't want to go out there and just be another car out there. But in all fairness, the competition is crazy here. You know, the Pro Mod series that we have in NHRA is unbelievable. For the whole entire year, I don't think we've had slower than a 590 field, so I think it's pretty exciting. The RPM board has done a great job of pumping up the series and getting good quality cars here. I think that's made a huge difference. You know, I remember 2.5 years ago we were in Indianapolis and talking about why we only had 17 cars and how we were going to fix that. And I think that the board's done a great job in making it exciting. I think that J&A Service coming in and helping us with sponsorship has done a great thing for us because it's given us the wherewithal to pay a decent purse to everybody, and obviously a year-end bonus with the champion, so that makes a big difference. And I just think it's exciting racing. I mean, you know, people want to be here. They're fighting to get in and be a part of this thing, and it's deserved. I mean, it's an exciting series to run. The height of the season being in Charlotte was very exciting. You know, we worked really, really hard at that. It was kind of a weird day because everything that we did was about trying to get ourselves in a position where we could actually get into the opposite lane that we were stuck in all day. And then going into the finals, you know, was at a point where we finally had a choice to get in the lane we wanted. And we realized we probably shouldn't do that because we hadn't been down it for a while. So, you know, Jimmy made the call. Jimmy Rector does a great job with the race car. The whole entire crew is fantastic about it. And Jimmy made the call to go back in the lane, and he knew we could run the number that we needed to run as long as I could leave with him, and we basically did what we both had to do, and we won that race. So it was very, very exciting, and it was a well-deserved race for my guys. And my guys worked really hard on putting the car together. You know, we got the car early in August. Jimmy put it all together. Tim McCamus, the Tim McCamus chassis. You know, everybody worked hard making sure the car was right. We went testing with it. We took it to Indy. Had moderate success, but the car showed a lot of promise. So, you know, it was a big change in the middle of the season to come out with a new car, but you know, we were at a point where we figured, you know, might as well try something new and throw something at it, and that's what we wanted to do. We're going to go out there and try to be a spoiler, and that's what we're able to do. I could say that I have a little bit of energy. I think it'd be polite, is a polite way to put it. I have a little bit of energy, so you know, I just think that we all work so hard to do this, and I'm very passionate about the sport. I'm passionate about what I do here. I'm passionate about the team. I'm passionate about Pro Mod racing, and you know, every time we get around, it's exciting for me. I mean, I don't want to ever feel that way that I'm just taking advantage of just winning another round. If it ever gets that way, I don't think I want to be out here. I want to be able to go out here and fight like a dog for it. When we deserve it, and we win it, and that's what it feels like for me. We're out here in a fight, and we do a good job, we deserve it. So I'm excited about it.
Inside Drag Racing is being brought to you by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology, and by the School of Automotive Machinists, education at full speed, and by Steel Rubber Products, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping.
Coming in at number 6, the guy who was shooting satellites out of the sky, Billy Glidden, back there at the back of the room.
Son of legendary pro stock racer Bob Glidden, Billy Glidden has established his own sterling reputation as one of the hardest working racers in the class. Acting as his own crew chief, Billy is always assisted by his wife Shannon, and together they constitute one of the smallest, albeit successful teams in the sport.
With a 903 cubic inch nitrous injected Ford engine under the hood, Billy Glidden trying for his greatest victory ever right here. Billy Glidden wins his first NHRA J&A Pro Modified Series National Event title, and he does it on a hole shot. His wife Shannon is going crazy.
How about that husband of yours?
How's that?
Every run at Englishtown I let off early, primarily to try to get the engine to last. But as it turns out, the passenger door kept coming open. I was feeling a pressure change in the car, but I didn't know what was going on. That actually happened all the way to the final. You know, I had told myself in the final, doesn't matter whether you see him or not, run it to the finish line. Well, I had a huge cabin pressure change. So I pushed the clutch in even in the final, and you know, you can see on the camera, you know, the top of the door is open this far. You know, we do nothing else. We don't go out to eat. We don't go to the movies. We go to the grocery store every 7 to 9 weeks.
I don't work on the clutch. What I do is I help get everything ready to disassemble or to take out of the car. I do the tires, I take all that apart. Billy does all the tuning, does all the setups. I'm just the extra hand there.
We go home and we go to the shop. And you know, most of the time it's actually supposed to be a break to go to the races. Silly enough, the highlight for us is the fact that we've been able to maintain being competitive enough to get in. There's a lot of new stuff that, you know, we started running fuel injection. For us to get better, we have to keep changing the program. And since Norwalk a couple of times, we had problems. We had wires going to the wrong places. And we didn't discover this until a week and a half ago. So I started over.
Failing to make the field in Las Vegas, we're sure the Glidens are already hard at work prepping the Mustang for next year. Once again, here's Brian Lones.
You know, one of the things that's interesting about Pro Mod is a class that you can be found competing all across the world. There are very few drag racing classes that really are run across the world. And the people in this room are the people that are racing at the highest level of competition in Pro Mod anywhere to be found on any continent. It is an amazing group of people. We look at the qualifying list at these races, and it reads almost like a Hall of Fame or almost like an all-star team sheet. And at half the races, you look at the non-qualifiers, and it's the same thing. It is very unforgiving, but it's also very impressive when you look at more than 30 cars trying to show up and punch their way into these fields. As a guy who's an announcer, as a guy who is, I guess, a paid spectator in many ways, to be able to stand in the tower and get people whipped up into a frenzy on a Saturday night or a Friday night qualifying session, and they know that half of the guys they're seeing aren't going to be able to race on Sunday. It's great for us, and we know it makes for a lot of, you know, fingernail chewing for all of you guys out there, but it is a hell of a show, and there's nothing else like it.
We'll finish the 2015 Pro Mod Top 10 next week. Until then, I'm Ted Jones for Brian Lones. So long, everyone.